So as we are looking into the idea of developing our own empathy, understanding more about how we're opening up into inspirational states, opening up into trance states, a very, very important factor that we need to consider is being able to highly discern the type of energies that we are looking to communicate with, but not so much in the idea just as it relates to intuitive practice. But we're also seeing how we can discern everything pertaining to life. This is one of the biggest challenges through a lot of people who are opening themselves up psychically, a lot of people who are becoming very empathically aware, very intuitive. One of the biggest challenges that they have is the ability to discern the type of situations or people within their life. Because the whole idea is that as you open yourself up intuitively, as you become much more empathically aware, you are seeing a lot more to the world. And that as you see a lot of this beauty that exists in the world, you can also see a lot of toxicity as well too. When a person starts to really understand who they are, when they become more aware of their own capabilities as a psi, as an intuitive, as a psychic, as a channel, as a healer in that way, they're seeing how messy certain things can be within their own lives before they came into this empathic state, and of course moving on into that journey and discovering more toxicity as well too. What we want to do is we want to have discernment. We want to discover that discernment is our key to helping us fine-tune our own empathic awareness. So what does that mean? Well, if I'm walking down the street and I just start feeling the thoughts of these particular people, and I'm just starting to notice that these thoughts of these people are now attempting to become my thoughts, and I know that I am not liking what I am feeling as it pertains to thought form, then what I need to do is I need to immediately discern that those particular thoughts that came from those people were not my thoughts. Because again, every single person on this planet is a walking broadcast tower of thoughts and feelings. And those thoughts and those feelings emanate everywhere. We can be caught up in traffic and we can start sensing the person ahead of us, the person beside us, the person behind us, the person to the other side of us, and we just start feeling their energies. We feel this rage. We feel this anger. We all of a sudden become very, very impatient, like saying, what the hell is going on here? Come on, move your ass, blah, 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 right? Start honking the horn. And we know we're not really that naturally aggressive. We know that this is something that is being adopted into us. We're actually pulling this particular energy through others that are broadcasting it. So we have a lot of angry drivers all around us. All of a sudden, we're feeling angry, right? This is all part of this empathic effect, is that they are broadcasting these particular frequencies. And here we are in our car at the wheel, and we are now receiving that energy. And we are pulling it into ourselves because, again, this all has to do with magnetics. It all has to do with vibrational frequency. And so we are feeling all of this transmission coming together, and it comes in so seamlessly to our mind that we immediately adopt it. Now we develop road rage. Now we start honking the horn. Now we start swearing at people. We start giving people the finger, right? Everything, right? We start to spiral out of control because we just are able to pick up on the energies of all of these aggressive people around us. And now we start acting like them. But deep down, you know that this is not who you are. You feel that you are, a very, very loving person, that you really don't have that type of hostility or conflict within yourself, yet you have just adopted that. So what do we do? How do we know a thought is not our own? When we look at the idea of thought, it doesn't have any particular type of solidity. It doesn't have any particular type of physicality. We can't identify it other than when we're just feeling it. So the whole key here is being able to take a listen become empathically aware about the thought that is coming into your mind before you feel you need to display it physically, before it needs to be vocalized, before it needs to be acted upon. Now again, this is unavoidable. You know, we are walking broadcasting towers, we are transmitting thoughts, we are transmitting feelings everywhere. And that will always continue. There's no way to stop that. That's just who we are as a conduit. The whole idea in that sense is we want to develop discernment about how we are acting when we are aligning ourselves to a certain frequency. So again, if you truly are in the state of helping yourself and helping others, and that you really have come here to help heal and to assist, and you're just noticing that you're just blasting at people because you feel that there's just this barrage of thought forms that are just flying all over the place, then again, this is where you feel you can go off the handle. So the whole key here is we really want to be able to observe the thought. This thought needs to be witnessed. It needs to be observed. It's not looking to be involved with. So basically, again, if you're in traffic and there's a big pile of traffic, you know, tons and tons of cars ahead of you, and you know that you've dealt with this before and you weren't able to get angry, all of a sudden now you're feeling all of this rage. You're feeling all of this anger coming through because you're seeing all these people just honking their horns and yelling at the top of their lungs, screaming at people to move it, get the hell in gear, get out of here, come on, let's get moving, etc. It's just good to kind of put your hands on the wheel and just close your eyes and breathe. And just observe the thought. It's okay if these thoughts are coming in. It's all right. The whole key here is just being able to witness them, just to realize that these thoughts are there. And realizing that these are not my thoughts. I am picking up the thoughts of everybody else around me. In a way, that's kind of a remarkable thing. You're saying, wow, this is true telepathy. This is fantastic. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that will spew this aggression and have this anger and want to cause a lot of trouble and conflict. So we want to really understand that when we have those aggressive thought patterns that come together, all we are attempting to do is catch ourselves. We need to catch ourselves when we feel that these thoughts come together. Sometimes that can be challenging because sometimes we just feel like it's just something we have to do in the moment. The urge becomes so strong. You know, we can't avoid that feeling of temptation, it seems. And then we basically burst out and feel angry in that way. So what we want to do is we want to develop empathic discernment, which again all comes down to the point of witnessing, which is all about being able to observe. This also just comes with people. You know, if you're working at an office and you feel that there are some toxic people that are again just very, very angry and very hostile, and they feel that they want to very much get involved with your affairs, and because you don't want to seem rude or impolite, you feel that you need to somehow interact together with them. While you never have to. That's the whole idea. If it's a coworker, even if it's a boss, you have to understand that if this is something that you really do not like being involved with, you have to ask yourself why you're being involved with such a nature of job, a nature of work, where everybody around you seems hostile, that as soon as you wake up in the morning, you are dreading going to work. Every time you start to make your way to work, you're just in so much fear. You're anxious. You're sweating bullets in that way. You have to question exactly why you feel you fit into such a situation. Do you feel that this is a type of job that you really want to get involved with, right? So this is where we are evaluating. We're evaluating the thoughts. We're evaluating the feelings. We're observing that. So empathic awareness is knowing when to close your gate. Now, what do I mean when closing a gate? Okay? When you are closing a gate, just like this, little handle right here. When you're closing a gate, you're not avoiding people in that particular way. You're basically saying no thank you to a vibration that does not suit you. So this is basically when we are able to transcend temptation. So something may be tempting for us to lose our cool, lose our patience. Something may be tempting for us in saying that this is a good paying job, but the people that I work with are highly toxic, right? So the whole idea is that we get this kind of weird brew where we're getting all these particles of distortion, all these particles of debris that are just in this big gigantic soup. You know, maybe there's some good stuff in that soup, but look exactly how it's blended. Look how it's all stirring together. It doesn't look appetizing. It's almost like taking water, putting some nice vegetables in it, and all of a sudden taking some oil and pouring it in there, right? Now you have fossil fuel soup. You don't want to drink that. So the whole idea in that sense is that, well, I got this disgusting oily soup. Maybe I just need to suck it all up and take all my clothes off and jump right into this big gigantic soup like it's a gigantic swimming pool, right? You don't want to do that, right? There's nothing tempting about being able to jump into a soup that has so much debris, that has so much toxicity. You're not going to drink oil with water, right? So this is the whole idea, is that you really want to develop yourself to know when to close the gate on certain things. So again, closing the gate is basically your way of saying thank you, but no thank you. Koosh, right? The gate locks. You have now given yourself permission not to go towards that particular path. It's a path that has been locked out. It's a path that has been completely sealed. And so this is basically how you may see your job. This may be, in that sense, about the normal route you go into traffic every morning to get to your job. That this is not the way to go, right? Maybe it's time I followed an alternate route. Maybe it's time I followed an alternate form of transportation. Whatever it may be. Because you've closed the gate on this. Maybe it's time just to go at a very earlier time so traffic's not so busy. What you're doing is you're discovering alternatives. So again, if we're looking at the idea of the roads here. Okay, here's a road to work, here's a road with the traffic, here's a road with hostile people, etc., right? So I'm closing the gate on that. I'm closing the gate on that. I'm closing the gate on that. What did I do? How did I close the gate? I observed the thought. I observed the feelings. I observed myself about how I felt in that particular situation. Everything relating to my environment of work. I did not like it. Attempting to have conversations with people who are very, very highly toxic and you could not negotiate with. Very, very unsettling. So I lock it down. So I basically go up to the boss and I say, thank you so much for offering me this, but this is not what I'm looking for. This does not fit me, right? And being able to close the gate. This is great when you are doing this because you are, again, not attempting to avoid people and not attempting to be apathetic and anything of that nature. What you're doing is you're making a decision and saying that, sorry, this road is not for me. That's it. That's all you're doing. You're just blocking off these roads. And you're telling the universe, I do not want to attract this anymore. I don't want to attract anything pertaining to a toxic person. I don't want to attract anything pertaining to a high traffic situation where I am becoming very, very aggressive. I am not interested in attracting a job that I feel is making minimum wage, that really doesn't compliment me, that I feel like I'm in fear, I'm anxious. Every morning I go to work. So I am closing those down. Okay? So again, this is how you are working with your empathic ability to develop discernment so that you are able to calibrate your reality into the paths that does serve. So you may have a path right here that feels great. You're all of a sudden discovering that there is new work coming up, that there is some type of partnership happening here with a good friend of yours. They have a product that they're selling that you absolutely love. Everything about the job, everything about the work is very exciting to you. It's very enjoyable. And you said, yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm opening the gate now. And I'm going to go that way, right? You need to tell the universe exactly how you feel. So basically, you want to live life by invitation. And this is how invitation is allowing you to discern yourself empathically, right? Because we can tune into people. We get the feeling. We get the thoughts of them. We know the kind of people that really compliment us and those that don't. And rather than attempting to go into some type of relationship, into some type of intimacy with another person that you know is toxic, catch yourself. Catch yourself in that particular moment and observe the thought. This person is not going to be someone who I feel will compliment me. You know, nothing wrong with the person themselves. I'm sure they're wonderful in many different ways, but the way that I encounter them, the way that the reflection in my reality is telling me about this person is that they are not in my wavelength about how I wish to be complimented. It goes back to the old video that I talked about. As loving as you are not to be trifled with. Right? That is the key here. We want to ensure that when we are developing empathic discernment, we are being honest with ourselves. We are not adopting a toxic person into our life just because we don't want to feel that we hurt their feelings, or that I just don't have the courage to tell them off, and that we basically have to, again, jump inside this very big pool filled with oil and water, right? We're going to feel disgusting afterwards. We need to really value ourselves, right? It's nothing against the other person that's coming into your reality. That person has come into your reality because there's still a part of yourself that exists within this person that says, oh, maybe I can't do anything about this. Maybe there's just something about me that I can't accept, right? So basically that reflection of that person is telling you something about yourself, something within the subconscious field, something about yourself. Maybe I don't feel like I trust myself. Maybe I don't feel I can make enough money. Maybe I don't feel I deserve happiness. Maybe I don't feel that I can improve myself. Whatever it may be. That person has come here as that subconscious toxicity because that person is just showing you some residual toxicity within yourself. That's how it works. That's how it operates. Believe me when I say I've had to close the gate on many different toxic people in my life. And I thought it was something that would be great. I thought it'd be something that would be fantastic going with these people. And then they show me a lot more of their true colors. And I say, wait a minute, this doesn't feel good, right? You have to understand that you are existing in a very big field. And this field is known as your comfort zone, okay? And of course, around the comfort zone is the out of bounds, OOB, okay? Now, a lot of us spend most of our lives right here. We're not even close to our comfort zone. We always back out because you just have to compromise. You just have to follow through. You have to suck up reality and do things that you really, really don't like in order to get ahead in life. With all due respect, that is the stupidest thing ever said in all that form. Because the whole idea is that if you are constantly playing out of bounds, you can get no form of harmony by constantly playing in a pool of toxicity. Because as soon as you go out of bounds, you're playing in that oily water pool. You're just diving right in, okay? It is not about feeling that you need to compromise over and over and over again. Thinking that compromise is going to be your ticket to salvation. It's not. Your ticket to salvation is being able to follow yourself. Being able to know that you are playing within your comfort zone. And this is where all of the harmonious opportunities are. Okay? These are like the golden roads. These are the golden brick roads, so to speak. As soon as you go here, the best type of road you can find would be bittersweet. That's the whole idea. That's the greatest thing. It's like looking at a basket of apples, and all of them are rotting. And there's basically one there that's not rotting as fast, but it's still rotting. That would be an equivalent as it relates to your out of bounds. If you are playing with out of bounds, you are playing with rotten fruit. You are swimming in a pool full of oil and water. Sure, maybe there's some areas in the pool that don't have as much oil in it, but you're still swimming in oil. Why on earth would you want to do this? This is what we have to ask ourselves. This is the big question to developing our empathic discernment. It's not about, well, you know what, Brad, I just want to make sure that I'm helping other people and that people are able to get together and that they can really fulfill themselves. Are you fulfilled? No, it's not about me, it's about everybody else. Then how can you fulfill another person? You can't. If you are not fulfilled, you can't fulfill another person. Not possible. Because you're not in the vibration of fulfillment at all. You're not in the vibration of being able to help another person and helping them to get ahead if you're all the way back here, right? That was, again, my own case. I felt that I needed to just throw myself to the ground and be a stepping stone for everybody else so that they could get ahead. And that didn't even happen to them, really, right? And so here I was constantly being a stepping stone, just sacrificing myself to feel that people could get ahead. And I looked at that and I said, this is no way to live. This is no way to exist in this reality. Because again, all we're doing is we're swimming in this disgusting moat of oil and water, right? So we're looking into the idea of being able to truly discern here. We know we want to help people. We know that people are suffering. We know that people are going through hard times. But if all you're ever going to do is completely throw yourself away in a state of sacrifice, you are not making any particular difference, because those people will see you in that sense as that type of sacrificial lamb. They will see all of your light and they will drain you dry. That is what happens when you basically feel that you need to sacrifice yourself to the crowd, to the people who are, again, if we're looking at the 4 stages of spiritual evolution, okay, these are the people in the pit. This is the person who is climbing out of the pit and is going into the valley and is just beginning to question everything. Why am I here? What's this reality about? What do I want to do with my life? How do I do this? How do I take care of this, right? That is the questioner. And they're still very, very curious about reality. They're not sure if they need to fall back into the pit or if they need to continue to go. They're still just kind of in this purgatory in a way, but they are asking questions and they're trying to get a grasp about what reality is all about. Why am I here? What's going on? They're in that kind of inquiry stage. Then we have the mountain climbers. We have those who are about self-improvement, right? Who realize that they've asked enough questions and now they're just going to start doing. They're going to start doing, all right? So then, of course, we have the summit folk, where they are simply in I am presence. They do not care about the idea about improvement. They do not care about the idea about where the world is going. They are tranquil in their own reality, and they will function within their own reality, and they will share themselves in that way, but they understand more of an I am presence. They understand creation, because they realize that where they are right now is all part of balancing themselves. They live for balance. They live for that equilibrium, right? So the pit people are, again, just kind of like looking at the people who want everything, who want and need to have everything, right? But they can never, ever get it, because they are so much caught up in this, and they are not caught up in action to improving themselves. It's all about, I want this, I need this needs to come to me, I gotta have this. It's a mirage in the desert effect. If we throw ourselves in that pit, we're just going to be getting eaten alive. That's the best way to put it, right? Because this is all about the survival crowd, okay? The survival crowd stays in the pit. And it's not pretty. You know, it's people that are just clamoring on top of each other, fighting with each other, arguing with each other, being extremely aggressive and hostile with each other. We don't want that in our reality. I can't imagine anybody who would say, oh yeah, sure, sounds great, throw me in, right? We don't want that, right? So this is helping us to understand our empathic discernment. We are looking into improving our lives by realizing, in reflection, what thoughts are coming into my mind. What do I do on a daily basis that continues to complement myself? So as we start to develop ourselves intuitively, empathically, this is the whole point. It's not just saying, oh my goodness, I'm an intuitive empath right now, and I can just start doing all this for a living. That's great. You know, that's a small trinket about what this is all about. You're not intuitive so you can start doing readings, right? That's not the purpose of it, right? You can have that aspect in it, of course. If you want to make that your living, make that your career, that's fine. But that's not why you're an intuitive empath. That's not why you're a psi. It's not why you're a psychic. It's not why you're a healer, right? You are developing these particular abilities to helping you reforge your world. You are helping yourself to realize that you are increasing your depth perception. That you are looking at all of the aspects of toxicity within your life, and you are deciding exactly what do I continue to go with that serves me, and what is not serving me. So this is why, on a daily level, we need to check in with ourselves. We need to look in regards to what we are constantly battling with, what we are constantly struggling with. What are the conflicts happening in our reality? Should I close the gate if there's something that does not serve me? That is an important question. This is why we close the gates. We notice that this is something that I have evaluated, and I have created full consensus with myself in saying that, yes, I do not need this. Close. Okay? Those people are still wandering about. They're still in their realities, all of their own corresponding realities. You have simply chosen not to associate in their particular chosen realities. Your reality no longer bonds with that clustered bubble that represents survival, that represents aggression, that represents hostility or using people or manipulation. You've said no thank you. No thank you. Gate closed. Right? So you are constantly doing this. Even people in your life who have been quote-unquote friends, who are constantly badgering you, who are belittling you, who feel that, oh, you just need to grow up, you need to get out of this psychic stuff, you need to get out of this intuitive stuff, and grow up and then smarten up and all that, right? And you know that that's not helping. From their own perspective, with them insulting you, and them being able to throw all this harsh, conflicting information at you, they believe that they're helping you. And you look back at this and you're saying, no, this is not helping me. I understand that that's how they perceive, thinking that if they throw all this gunk at me, that that's going to make me to change. But all I'm seeing is I'm seeing my entire body being covered with this nasty tar, this nasty oil, because they keep spewing that. So I need to set a boundary. I need to close the gate. I wish them well. I wish them the best. I wish them the most beautiful abundance in their journey, of course. But right now, there is no association that benefits either of us. Because as soon as we get involved with each other, there is a tug of war. There is a fight. There is a conflict. I need to realize this. I need to forgive this aspect of myself. And as I forgive it, I'm closing the door on something that is negatively polarized. And I'm opening the gate that represents positive transformation. Right? So we close a gate when there's something in regards to conflict, when there's something that we know we're able to look at, able to acknowledge, able to forgive ourselves, not being so harsh on ourselves, not being harsh on them. Because that is how they see this perspective. When a person feels that they're being so aggressive, that may be their own interpretation of saying, I'm just helping you. I'm just helping you out here. But this is not the type of vibration of quote-unquote help that you're looking for. So it's about closing the gate. If there can be no negotiation, close the gate and open up new opportunities that come to you. This is how we check in. This is how we discern. We're not leaving anybody behind. We are leaving ourselves behind when we feel we need to suck this up and just continue to walk into the pit of oil and water. Right? So we want to ensure that we stay in these borders, in this aspect of a comfort zone. We want to stay in that zone because this zone, even though it looks square here, truly is infinite. It has infinite possibilities to itself. But when we constantly go out of bounds, the universe is blowing a whistle. Hey, you're out of bounds. You're swimming in the muck right now. What are you doing? No, I gotta save people. I gotta do this. I gotta be there for them, right? And you're drowning. Because all of this heavy weight inside that mucky pool is bringing you down. You are voluntarily jumping into the pit of survival. And this is where we need to develop our own empathy, our own intuition, our own psi ability to help us understand the depth perspective of reality. So again, in order for us to realize this, we need to observe our thoughts. We need to acknowledge exactly what that means. We need to acknowledge what we're constantly pulling into our reality every single day. Being able to accept what is coming through. Being able to forgive ourselves, not being so hard on ourselves, not being so hard on others. It's not about retaliating and feeling that you need to burn the person that is already playing with fire, right? It's about surrendering yourself. Put the aggression down. Drop the bags. Take down the defensive shields. And start looking at that particular person as yourself and saying that this version of myself is attempting to tell me something. And it's telling me that there can be no really harmonious relationship because they're in one vibration, I'm in another. And I am not comfortable in being in their space for what they represent in my reality right now. So I'm going to close the gate. And now I'm going to open something up because I am looking to recharge, rejuvenate, and completely harmonize my energies so that I can now start following a path that will bring me back into my comfort zone. That's it. That's the whole idea here. That's what we're attempting to do. It can be challenging because we are such an open-hearted people. A lot of us that follow this path have love so deeply in our hearts. And we want so bad to help a person. We want so bad to spread all of that light and make it feel like, I'm just going to help you. I'm going to help you get out of this muck. You know, we're these natural rescuers, right? We want to just grab each other by the hand and pull them out of this muck. But what do you do when you're reaching your hand and this person is just doing this? No, I don't need to take your hand. I'm not taking your hand at all. What do I need to be rescued from, huh? Maybe you need to be rescued. Maybe you're the one that's a psychopath. Maybe you're the one that's crazy. Maybe you're the one that's in conflict. What do you do? Come on, come on, come on. No. Because look at what they're doing. They're just like this, and they're throwing this hatred, conflict, aggression, anger at you. And you are just sitting there and you're taking it, and you're absorbing it all in, right? And now you're feeling bad. This person doesn't want to be rescued. They don't want you pulling them out of their pit because they are not there to leave the pit. They have given themselves no permission to leave the reality that they have chosen. You have to decide, what do I do in that situation? What do I do when a person doesn't want my help? How do I feel when I'm not able to offer help to another person? I feel rotten. I feel horrible, right? Because that's how we are. Where we're feeling this interconnectedness. We feel this person as ourselves. But they keep throwing this muck at you and saying, no, you're the one that's screwed up. You're the one that's conflicting. You're the one that's this, that, and the other thing, right? And that hurts. Absolutely. That hurts a lot. But we need to, again, check in with ourselves. We need to observe the thought. We need to observe our feelings. We need to look at that and saying that here I am attempting to rescue this person who does not want to be rescued. Here I am attempting to feel that I need to bring them to my level when they are not willing to come to your level. Close the gate. Forgive them. Forgive yourself. Forgive the situation. Open a new gate that represents yourself. Follow that trail of joy that returns. Rejuvenate yourself. Learn from this experience and rejuvenate yourself by opening up a new gate. Whenever we attempt to make a decision, let's make a decision that has 100% self-consensus behind it. That is a very, very important factor here. We want a 100% feeling. Yes, this is the path I want to go. Yes, this is the path I want to walk. Yes, this is where I am going to return back into my comfort zone. If there is something where it says, it kind of sounds okay, I don't know, kind of lukewarm about the idea, oh, what the heck, I'll go do it. Now what you've done is you've just fractured yourself. Because yourself is not in agreement pertaining to this path that you're about to walk. And now you're going to fragment and fracture yourself. And now you're going to start attracting elements of toxicity because you haven't been able to make something that you fully are certain of that represents your transition into following the path back into your comfort zone, right? So we want to develop our empathic discernment. We need to be very, very discerning about what we are contributing our energies toward. Our energies are sacred. Our energies are meant to be aligned and loved. But if we are constantly feeling that we are battling and just generously donating our energy to a person who will munch it up and belch it out and not give you anything back in return pertaining to the idea of cooperation, pertaining to the idea of community, of connection in that way, that is non-existent. We have to think about that. We need to give our energy back to ourselves. We wish this person well. We wish they get the most wonderful healing possible and help them in the journey for them to expand. But right now, we have to close the gate. Okay? So this is what I really, really want to share with everybody today about empathic discernment. It's a big topic because I get this so much. I say about 95% of the readings that I have done over the past 8 years has been about this. Has been about the idea of people not being able to discern, who want to give so much of their light, who want to give so much of their love to people who will abuse it, to situations that will cause abuse to that person. And so we really need to develop ourselves and check in. That's why you're being intuitive. Not because it's something fancy, because this is how you are becoming an advanced human being. You're seeing more of reality than we have ever seen before. And that takes an intuitive empath. That takes a psychic. That takes a psi. That takes a healer to really feel this and walk in a path that leads here rather than here. So really look into what you're doing on a daily basis that will continue to complement you in walking back to your path of your comfort zone. And it is there that all of the infinite possibilities that represent your own transformation, your own prosperity, will be possible. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Brad Johnson, and I will speak to you again in the next episode. Take care, namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye.